Hi kids, in this video we'll be learning how to make a simple shark and a fish game using Scratch. So welcome to the series. Let's make a game together using Scratch. Whenever you play a game, what are the main things you see in them? We have a background, we have a characters, and the characters do some actions, right? So we are making a shark and a fish game. What's going to be the background of the game? Sharks and fish live under the water. So our background is going to be underwater. If you see the bottom right, we have this add a background tab. Go to choose a backdrop. This is the backdrops available in Scratch in default. And on the top, we have a section called as underwater. We'll go to underwater, and out of the two options, I pick underwater one, and our background is ready. Yeah, and we don't need a cat in the game, right? So I will just delete the cat sprite. And we want to add a new character. It's going to be the shark. And we call a character in Scratch as a sprite. So bottom right, I have something called as a choose a sprite. Go to the sprite tab, and what do we need? We are going to search it in the search bar. Go for the shark. We are going to make a little bit animated type of a game. So I take my shark 2 and I add it in my output screen. And if you see that the Scratch screen is divided into 3 sections, towards the left-hand side, we have the code blocks. So this is where all our codes are present. Okay. And towards the right middle, we have this workspace, and this is where we will drag and drop all our code blocks. And towards the right-hand side, we have the output screen where we'll be looking at the output. Yeah. And below the output screen, we have this sprite tab where we'll be getting the information about that particular sprite. Yeah. And below we have all the sprites we have used in the game. Simple. Now let's start. Let's start with the game. What I want to do, what my first task is, I want to move my shark. And the shark is the main character. So we are the shark. And I want to move the shark with my mouse. That is, wherever my mouse is going, I want my shark to come. Simple. So what we are going to do, I'm going to go to events. And can you see something called as when flag is clicked? Yeah. So these are all nothing but the code blocks. What is a code? Code is nothing but a step-by-step instruction we give to the computer. Okay, for example, now I am giving you some step-by-step instruction and you're following the instructions and making the game. Same way, we are going to give some step-by-step instruction to the computer. The computer is going to follow them and give us some output. So now I'll say when the flag is clicked. So this is like an event. I'm going to give some instruction. And when should the instruction start working? When I click this green flag. So when I click this green flag, what should happen? This shark should look at my mouse pointer. So I go to the motion and we have something called as point towards mouse pointer. Yeah. So when I click the flag, you can see my shark looks at my mouse pointer, but when I go in further, it doesn't move. It works only one time. But if I want to keep it continuously work till the end of the game, I have something called as go to the control. We have something called as a forever loop. So forever means like till infinite. Till the game stops, I will have this command running on. What is the command? Whenever the flag is clicked, whenever the game starts, my shark will point towards my mouse pointer. Simple. So whenever I click my flag, you can see the shark is looking at my mouse pointer. Simple. Now, it should not just look right, it should move towards the mouse pointer. So what we do, we go to the motion and the first block we have is move 10 steps. I make it to 5 so that it's not very fast. And when I click the flag, fantastic. You can see my shark is moving. Great. So our first job is done. We have set the character for us. The next thing is the fish. So I'll go to choose a sprite again. Go to the sprite tab, search for fish this time. And we have a beautiful name of fish over here, right? Maybe I feel the fish is little bit bigger than the shark. So what I do, I just change my size of the fish in the sprite tab to maybe 80. I feel 70. Yeah, so this fish looks good. Okay, now what's the role of the fish? Fish is not being controlled by us. Fish is going to just roam around the water. Simple. So when the flag is clicked, that is whenever the game starts, I want my fish to move non-stop. So we know how to write a code non-stop. Nothing but we'll add a forever loop in it. So it'll keep on moving. I click my flag. Just look at the fish now. You can see my fish is working perfectly. But wait, what happened? Where is the fish? So you can see the fish moves and stops whenever it reaches the edge, right? So we don't want that to happen, right? We want it to flow back. We want it to come back. So whenever we have a ball in our hand, okay, we throw it on the wall, what will happen? The ball will bounce back to us. Same is what we are going to add here. So to the motion, we have something called as if on edge bounce. So whenever the fish goes to edge, it bounces back like a ball. So I click my flag, I take my fish, I drag to the left hand side again. I just keep it on the side. I click my flag now and you can see my fish goes and bounces back. But is it bouncing back correctly? It's looking like a dead fish. This is not how it should bounce, right? How should it bounce? So that I will set my rotation style left and right. So that when it rotates, it will not rotate. It will not rotate. Instead, it will turn left to right. Okay. So now you can see it works perfectly. So we have a fish, we have a shark, fish is moving across the ocean, and we have the shark. What's the next step we are going to do? The third step is making the shark catch the fish. We want the shark to eat the fish, right? How do we make it? Whenever my shark goes near the fish and touches it, the fish should hide so that it looks like the shark has eaten the fish, right? So what I do, I write the code again. I take when the flag is clicked, I'll write the if command. So if is nothing but the conditional statement. For example, we have some conditions like if it is raining, I will not go to play. Or else if it is a holiday, I go to my grandparents' house. So we have a condition. If that condition is true, something will happen. So if what's the condition here? If touching, I'll take touching the mouse pointer. And when you click the mouse pointer, you have something called a shark 2. Change it to shark 2. Then what should happen to the fish? The fish should hide. Simple. And this conditional should not only happen once, it should be running throughout the program so that whenever the condition is true, it will work. So now you can see I'll start my game. I'll just click my flag and I go near the fish and I touch it. You can see the fish has hidden. Simple. And now I'll start the game again. Can you see the fish? No, right? So whenever we use a hide block, we should use the opposite of the hide block. What's the opposite of hide? It's nothing but show. So now whenever the game starts, the fish will show. And if it touches the shark, it will hide. Very simple. So now we can see the fish is there. I'll go to the shark. And when the shark touches the fish is going to hide. Right? And the next thing we are going to see is, let's say we'll add some sound effects to our game. So whenever the shark catches the fish, we want some sounds to play. So I go to the sounds and you can see start sound ocean wave. Okay, so we have different wave sounds here. Maybe we'll change it to bubble sound. So when the shark eats the fish, we will hear some bubble sound like this. Yeah. And the next thing we are going to do is we are going to add score to our game. Okay. So whenever we want to add a score to our game, that score should be stored somewhere, right? And that storing place, we call it as a variable. Variables are nothing but the containers. And in the container, what we do, we store some rice, we store some ghee. Same way, in the container of the scratch, we can store values. Now, what value we are going to store? We are going to store score. So I'm going to make a new variable and I'll name it score and I press OK. And now you can see bottom left, we have this score bar. Okay, but we should add the code, only then the score will increase. And when should the score increase? Whenever my shark is touching the fish. So we already have a if condition here. Inside it, I'll say change score by 1. So whenever my shark touches the fish, my score will change by 1. Change is nothing but +1. Simple. So I click my flag. You can see my fish. I'll go catch the fish and my score went to 1. It's correct, right? And I stopped my game. I click the flag and I play it again. You can still see the score is 1. But this is not what should happen. No, we have played games. Whenever the game stops and starts again, the score should be 0. Only then we know what's the score in that current game. So whenever the flag is clicked or whenever the game starts, I will set my score to 0. So whatever score is there, that will be deleted and it will be set to 0. You understood the difference between set and change? Change is nothing but whatever score is there +1. But in set, whatever score is there, that score will be removed and it will be replaced with a 0. Simple. Now we can see we have a shark, we have a fish, and whenever I catch the fish, I hear some sounds and my score goes by 1. Simple. Yeah, we'll go to the next one. Whenever, like, I have only one fish over here, right? But I want multiple fishes. So what I do, I can just go to choose a sprite. I can start search for a fish, add it. But when I add it like this, you can see my code space is empty. That means I have to like write the code again from the beginning. But that's time consuming, right? So what we do, I just delete this fish sprite. I'm having the original sprite where I have written my code. Yeah, I will left click. I will right click and say duplicate. You have the next fish. Right click, duplicate. Right click, duplicate. So you can see multiple fishes are added. You can't see it in the output screen. Once I click my flag, you can see there are multiple fishes. I'll just drag and drop them across the screen like this. So if you want, you can multiply into many fishes like this. So now my screen is full of fishes here. Yes? Very good. Now my fishes are there. My sharks can go catch them, eat them. Yes? But one thing that's a little bit not looking good is all the fish look the same. So what do? We click any fish, go to the costumes tab, yeah, over here, and there are 4 other costumes for the fish. You can pick any other costume. So we can just see. So one fish has changed into another type. Click any fish, choose a different costume. Click any fish, choose a different costume. Like this, you can take different other costumes and you can just, so that's how the ocean looks like. There'll be not only one type of fish, there'll be lots and different types of fishes. So I have all type of fishes and my shark ate all of them. Simple. Yes. So I think you enjoyed the shark and a fish game. I have put the whole code for this game in the chat box as well. You can just take a look at it. If you're looking for more one-to-one coding session for your kids, you can just contact the number displayed on the screen. Thank you. And we will meet in the next episode. Bye-bye.